Hello, and thank you for listening. My name is Luke Mardigian. I'm the owner of the Mardigian Agency in St. John's, Michigan. And a lot of people ask me, why do you have a radio show? Well, it's because we've been able to accomplish something that most captive insurance agents aren't able to do, and that's have a scalable sales team and a self-managing operations team. And what that's allowed us to do is grow to about double the size of the average captive insurance agency in the United States. And on this show, we share how we've been able to achieve this both practically and tactically, so you can implement the same strategies and achieve similar results in your business. And joining me today is our special guest,
Alec Nuremberg, the Director of Operations.
And throughout, thanks for joining us, Alec.
Of course.
This has kind of been high on our radar here. The no-brainers and never happens is something that we've been talking about internally for a long time. Just trying to figure out, it really has helped us establish an order of priority on how to run our business and what to fix first or what to document first if it needs to be a system. And
definitely,
we've been talking about either a specific no-brainer or a never happen every week, and this theme will be continuing for 2021. And this is aimed at helping you strengthen your processes and create a better experience for you, your team, and your customers or clients. And the no-brainer we're discussing today is set realistic timelines with your clients and team. It sounds so obvious when I say it out loud.
It does.
But no one does it.
No one does it.
Like almost no one.
They try to, and when they fail, they just kind of brush it off, I think, a lot of times too, and think it's not important. That was a day late or a day after.
No big deal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it is a big deal.
It is.
So we're going to talk about why it's crucial to set these clear expectations. And, there's a public speaker, I remember his name was Sam Chan. It's been a long time since I heard him, about 10 years ago. He was a hilarious guy, but he had this speech that he'd give on reality and expectations, and he'd put his hands out and he'd say, you have reality and you have expectations. The further that reality and expectations are apart is the greater the conflict.
Right, yeah.
And that's why we have conflict, right? So you have clients in insurance who are like, hey, every month I want my insurance to come out on a monthly basis. And then someone doesn't get that message and they take $1,800 out of their account that day and think they wanted to pay it in full.
Right. Not good.
Conflict, right? Pretty far distance between expectations and reality. But this happens all the time. And it's because most of it's because of just human error.
Yeah.
It's just someone didn't say something at some point, but it can be avoided with the proper systems. And so we're going to talk about that today.
Definitely. Human error. And I think maybe with that, people afraid to let them down, give them the proper time expectation up front and say it's 6 days, like that's the actual time.
Yeah.
They say 6 days to the client or customer or whatever it is. They're afraid that that's too long, or they're going to be, they're not doing their job well enough to get it done in a timely manner in their eyes or something like that. So they bump it up and tell them 4 days.
Yeah.
So
even though they know that's not realistic.
It's not going to happen.
So what's fascinating is during conversations, I actually don't know anyone that I deal with on a regular basis in any industry that does this. And so if you're listening, I'm going to give you how to fix this right up front. And then we're going to talk about how to execute it in your business from day to day and kind of what the psychology around this is. Every conversation must end with who is going to do what and when it is going to be done by. So if I'm on a review with the client and, their business just bought a new forklift that they forgot to tell us about, because that does happen actually more often than you'd think. Like, oh yeah, we bought an $80,000 forklift. I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah, minor detail, buddy. It just happens all the time. Or new cars too. Oh yeah, we bought a couple new cars. We probably should get those put on the how did you register? Anyways,
not asking questions.
No, yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll get it done. At the end of it, it's like, hey, you got this $80,000 forklift that we need to insure, and then we're opening a new location this fall, and we're buying a building, and this is the address. Okay, cool. Well, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna get me the information on the forklift, and you're gonna send it to me tomorrow, and then I will add it to the policy, and then I'm gonna get a quote done on the new building, and I'll have that over to you by the end of the week. Does that sound fair? Who is doing what and when it'll be done by. And then I love that phrase. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely.
Because if it's not, if they're like, actually, no, I need that like tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm meeting with the banker. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if I can get it done by tomorrow. What time tomorrow?
Right.
Well, I'm meeting with them at 1. We might be able to do that. Let me talk with Shelby and I'll let you know by the end of the workday today whether she can get it done by 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Right. So again,
it's conclusion, 5-paragraph essay, conclusion. You just, conclude it every time.
Yes. And
Keep
now there's
everybody
a
on the same
proper
page.
expectation, right? I talked to a condo association who had been having major issues trying to find coverage because they have a kind of a unique setup. We actually already insure like 4 or 5 associations just like it.
Yeah.
So for us, it wasn't weird, but apparently they had talked to 8 other agents and all of them told them they couldn't do it. I was like, okay, well, we have 5 of them. So I guess, good for me. Sorry for you that you had to talk to 9 insurance agents.
Right.
We're not the most exciting bunch usually. And so when we talked, I just said, look, realistically, end of next week is when I'll be able to have this to you. Does that sound fair? Yeah, that's fine. We've been dealing with this for 3 months. And if we get it done in a couple weeks, I'm going to be very happy. Great.
Perfect.
So I could have tried to push it and force it, but I'm glad we did that because we ended up getting delayed by one carrier. They just forgot to respond. Literally, they forgot to respond. And so thankfully Shelby and her team followed up with them for 3 days in a row. And they finally said, oh, sorry, we thought we responded.
Right.
And so now we have some basic quotes, but just, I literally pushed it way out there and we ended up needing to take the whole time, but I didn't know that when I started. I just set a proper expectation at the end of the call, asked if it sounded fair. She said, absolutely.
Right.
Most people have lower expectations than what we think.
I think so too. So in insurance, I've noticed my time in the industry, not that long so far, but I'm picking it up. I've noticed that trust it's a little more tough to come by. And I think setting proper time expectations with clients, I think that could be maybe a foundation to build that trust. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think trust is completely built on how close expectation and reality are.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course. Yeah.
If you marry somebody and they're like, I love to go kayaking and hiking and mountain biking and travel.
Right.
And then you marry them and
they just sit inside.
They're like, I don't really want to go today. And I don't want to go. And like 2 years goes by, you're
Never
going like,
kayaking.
Do I even know you? Like how can I trust you? Can I be married to you? And then intimacy suffers, right? Which intimacy simply means into me see. You let them see who you are. Mm-hmm. So because you're not sure who they are, you shut down yourself to block.
Right.
So that, because you're not sure what play they're playing. So you're trying to kind of guard yourself. And it's the foundation of any relationship is this expectations and reality. So when now what's interesting is this actually, it is up to the business. So if we're B2B or B2C, it is up to the business that's serving to set the proper expectation. But it is up to the client to communicate when expectations aren't met.
Yes.
That I think is where the trust really is eroded, because most things in insurance are not like if your house is on fire, like it's already too late, so what can happen that's, like super time sensitive, very few things.
Yeah, no.
And it's usually more of like someone failed to prepare and that's why it's an emergency now.
Right.
So when that happens, when the client needs something, they have to come to whoever's serving them and say like, hey, I asked for this and it's been 2 days and I haven't got a response. Next time I ask for it, I need it in a day.
Perfect. That I would love for that to happen.
Yes.
100% of the time.
Yep. Well,
relationships, work, everything, that would be great.
Well, because then it's just go, oh, okay, no problem. I'm going to go to my team. You're going to get a special exception. You're going to be treated different than everyone else because you have a different expectation of us than other clients.
Adapt and adjust. And
And if that's what your expectation is, maybe it's unrealistic. So if it's unrealistic, you have to say, hey, that's not realistic. These things do take 2 to 3 days.
Yep.
But if it's possible, why would they not? You're paying them. Why would we?
Right. Yeah. We'll put a note on your account. Like, this is way this person functions and this is what they expect. Like, that's fine.
Yep. Or if we just know it, right?
Yeah, right.
It's just like,
keep it in mind. Yeah.
Hey, this guy's the CEO of one of the top distributors of the big 3 in auto manufacturing. When he gets a hold of us, you respond immediately,
right? Yeah.
Because the guy is crazy busy, and for some reason doesn't have an assistant. So that's a true story. But sorry. So we were talking about the overpromising and underdelivering is what you talked about, and I think what's interesting is there are some businesses that want to underpromise and overdeliver.
Yes,
and there are businesses that overpromise and underdeliver, and I would argue both are wrong.
For overpromising and under-delivering, there's no excuse for that ever.
Yes.
Under-promising and over-delivering, I think there's a time and place for that maybe. I mean, that's how I functioned in the Marine Corps, Like, I'd get a deadline, I'd get the platoon, we'd have a week to do something, and then we have to have it done by Friday, have to have the CMR report or whatever it is by Friday at noon so we get cut for the weekend. we'd always have it done Thursday.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. Yeah. Right. Just in case.
It's the over deliver I'm okay with.
Yeah.
It's not the under promise.
Yeah. Cause then you're cutting yourself short. You're not letting, in a more selfish way, you're not letting people see your true ability and stuff like that. And it's important to know somebody's, overall true ability to do something. It allows you to plan better, forecast, whatever it is.
It's setting a realistic expectation, right?
Of who that person is and what they're capable of.
So if it's realistic for me to get them that condo quote by the end of the following week, that's not under promising.
No.
Right?
No.
But it is, if I get it done before then, it is over delivering.
Yeah, right.
So it's about setting that proper expectation.
Right.
And most business owners think that it will, it's bad to discuss that because now they put themselves on a deadline.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, I see that.
But reality is that the deadlines are there for a reason. It helps the organization develop priorities and then execute them in the proper order.
Right. And then the client knows, where they stand as far as whatever their process is that they're a part of, they can, it just gives them an idea of what to expect, setting the expectation.
Yes. Yeah. Because the problem is if you say, for instance, if we did that kind of quote, end of the following week is what I told her. Mm-hmm. And then we got it to her the next day. The next time she needs a quote,
she's probably going to expect something right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might have been realistic for the next Friday. So there's a balance there where you just have to set proper expectations, and proper expectations are who is going to do what and when is it going to be done.
Right.
And as long as you know those three things at the end of the conversation, then you've set realistic expectations.
Right.
And if it does end up working out that you get it done quicker, great. And if it ends up taking a little longer, as long as you communicate that, hey, I told you I was going to do this by this time, it's now going to be X, and it's something that was out of our control or whatever the story was, then okay. Like on that condo association, I was sitting here thinking about that. That was the next Friday was last Friday. So 2 days ago,
Yep.
With Shelby was off Friday. So my plan was to get with Shelby and make sure that she got on top of it and she had the day off.
Right.
So, I'll follow up with them, apologize. So this is live. This is me. I'm literally telling you guys what I'm going to do, how I deal with this. I set an expectation. We didn't meet the expectation. I will call that client today and say, I'm so sorry we didn't meet the expectation. Here's what happened. The one company we thought for sure would do it just didn't respond for 3 days, which is very unusual, and then sent us a declination. So we're shopping it to another carrier that we've written them. We have two of the associations like theirs with already, and their price is usually a little higher, but I'm pretty sure they'll do it. And so now I'll have to extend it out. Hey, so we're thinking it's probably gonna be done by Thursday or Friday of this week. Yeah, that stinks. You kind of have to eat your own lunch, right? But
I mean, it's business too, and things happen, things come up, and that's what separates good business from bad is being able to adapt to those times, I think.
Yes.
Would you say it's a good idea, just like you're going to communicate today by missing that deadline? Is it a good idea, say you set the expectation of next Friday or 2 Fridays from now, and you were to get it done the next day, would you communicate, hey, this is an anomaly kind of?
Yes.
But
I usually say, hey, great news. We actually were able to get this through, so for instance, sometimes we'll have them where we think we're going to have to submit actual paperwork to a carrier. And then it's usually like a few emails back and forth qualifying the risk. And then they may present an offer and say, we're willing to write this.
Right.
Well, sometimes we think that, and then the next day, like we just had one where our underwriter, Matt Allen, who's awesome, came back and goes, hey, any reason why we can't write this in our BOP system? And I was like, I don't know. I was told a couple of years ago that we had to do it in our paper system. And he's like, no, I think this is going to be fine. I think it's pretty sure it's BOP eligible. But that just totally changed everything. That went from a 10-day sales cycle to like a 2-day sales cycle for us. We're going to have quotes and be able to present them within 2 days.
Right.
So that stuff happens. So, hey, that's how I pitch it, is great news.
Right.
We actually are able to quote this in a system that
typically isn't normal. If I set an expectation, that's going to be, about right usually. You know, so don't expect things the next day when you do set the expectation.
Yeah, right. And then so let's back. That's kind of like front end sales cycle stuff. Back end, when you talk about the expectation of ongoing service, you have a choice of. Everyone thinks it's only those two choices. You either overpromise and underdeliver,
right.
So you fail your client, or you underpromise and you overdeliver. Reality is you just need to set a standard.
Right.
So
hit it square, and
that's why this is a no-brainer, because this is something that your organization, your employees, and your clients should never have to think about or process through.
Right.
It should be a given. We know for sure that when we call and we ask for a quote for a mortgage lead, I'll have it by the end of the day.
Yes.
Because that's our standard of service.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer.
Yep.
That way the entire organization knows the second we get that request, we're up to bat.
Right.
It's game time.
Yep.
And then, like for us, like certificates of insurance for commercial clients, we're same day. The internal expectation is within the hour.
Yeah.
So,
but they think same day.
Yes. The client says think same day. Internally,
we're grinding it out and it's done.
And as soon as you get that request, just send it.
Right.
Because we don't want to forget it or miss it.
For sure.
And so you kind of have two sides of the setting expectations up front in the sales cycle.
Yep.
And then on the back end for ongoing service, you just have to set an expectation of when you'll deliver it internally and externally to your clients and then execute it. So pretty cool show. I like this no-brainer, setting realistic timeframes with your clients and team. I hope it really helped you. If you found it interesting or fascinating, then please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Mardigian Agency. That's Mardigian, or follow us on Facebook at Be Insured. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Be Insured.